What's happening, Renzo Gang? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? How y'all feeling? Come on in here. Come on. Come on. Shimon. Now, this video, this one right here, another real life, real talk video. Before I'm pretty sure you see the title, but I'm gonna go ahead and, do the intro. So, Renzo Gang, before we get started, make sure everyone comment down below, gives the video a fat thumbs up, subscribe to the channel, turn that post notification bell on so be first to get your videos. Now, you ready, Renzo Gang? You ready and I'm ready. No cap. Let's get it. Now, this video right here, Renzo Gang, this one right here is never give up. Never give up. No cap. So, Renzo Gang, reason why I wanted to do this video right here is because I know it's been, Lord have mercy, Renzo Gang. I know it's been hard out here. These last few months, it's been hard. Especially with the gas prices and, with everything just going up, Renzo Gang. I understand. Lord have mercy, Renzo Gang. I get it. This is probably one of my most important videos because I have a couple more videos that's going to be dropping this week as well. And this one right here, just don't give up, Renzo Gang. Please don't give up. Just please, I understand it's hard out here. If you gotta go somewhere alone and cry, you gotta talk to somebody, fight, just let it out. But please, just don't give up, Renzo Gang. I'm telling you, if you give up, you're giving the devil what he wants. And the last thing you want to do is, make him feel like he's got power over you. Because he ain't got power over nobody unless you one of his followers. So, Renzo Gang, I know this is a little hard probably for some of y'all. Please just don't give up, Renzo Gang. I don't want to say, Renzo Gang, I don't know everyone's situation. I don't know what, people, got going on behind closed doors. I don't. But I do want to say this, Renzo Gang. You're not alone. Don't ever think you're alone in this because you're not. And to be honest, Renzo Gang, there's a lot of times I go through a lot of stuff and I be wanting to give up, But then at the same time, I think, positively, like, if I give up, then what? Then what? Do I want to sit and sulk and be depressed, and do something, that's gonna, do something worse than, just giving up is just not an option. Sometimes, it feels like the best option, but it's not. It's never the best option. And Renzo Gang, I promise you, like, when you give up, it'll be all for nothing. Like, you could have went far in life. That's why I be thinking, like, sometimes I beat myself up a lot and be like, so if I quit now, then I'm a coward. That's my mentality. It's like, and I can't give up. Take a break, yeah, but give up, no. You can't give up. I don't know, I don't know everyone else's situation, and I'm not judging nobody. I'm not judging nobody, you know. And I ain't God, so I can't sit there and just, you know, give people a choice to do this, that, and the third. I can't, but I can give you some, at least some little motivation, to help boost you up to get you where you want to go. Because sometimes I be needing it, and sometimes we all need tough love. But also remember, when you giving out tough love, don't berate nobody, man. Like, sometimes I hate when y'all do that. Like, y'all get tough love and disrespectful. Y'all get confused with the two. It's a thin line between giving someone tough love and being disrespectful. Sometimes you ain't gotta curse nobody out to get your point across. That's what make people really want to give up and make them feel worse than what they already are. Now, sometimes it could be necessary depending on how that person is, but someone that's got a bright future ahead of them, that's thinking about giving up, you want to kind of drag them back down to reality and make them, realize, giving up is not an option. Because I promise you, Renzo Gang, it's easy to want to think about giving up, but then like when you think about it, you're instantly gonna think regret. I'm telling you, Renzo Gang, like speaking from experience, you are gonna regret. You're gonna feel a lot of regret. I'm telling you, you're gonna feel that regret. And Renzo Gang, it's easy to want to give up because a lot of things, life is never was never meant to be easy. It's not, no cap. It was never meant to be easy. But at the same time, Renzo Gang, life is beautiful at the same time. And there's a lot of things out here for us, everyone has goals that they want to reach. I got a goal. I got plenty of goals I want to reach with this YouTube channel. Like I want to get my name out there. I want to get, noticed by people to, help push my platform out there. And a lot of times, it does get discouraging, because, I'm not hitting, huge numbers. I'm not. I'm being real. I'm not hitting huge numbers, but I'm hitting numbers. At least I'm hitting numbers, I'm thinking like when I first started, I was like, dang, like when am I gonna start hitting numbers? And I'm hitting, I'm hitting some numbers, Like one of my videos has the most views I have. One of my videos is almost 800 views. And I was like, wow, like that really, put a smile on me. I'm like, I can't give this up. I can't give up. Doing YouTube and being a content creator is not easy, and a lot of them, they give up. Well, let me rephrase it. A lot of ones that start and don't be consistent with it, they give up. I'm not finna be one of those that give up, because it gets hard and then, it feels like nobody's watching your stuff. Someone out there is watching. Sometimes it takes, like, depending on what you're doing, it takes time for the algorithm to find your right type of audience. And it does get frustrating, but, I just keep going and going and going because eventually someone out there, and you never know who's watching, they're going to see your stuff. Once it gets out there on the internet or, social media, it stays out there forever. That's why I want to stay consistent and do this for years and years to come until, my last breath, I take my last breath, and I imagine, great things happening for this channel, and that's why I just cannot give up. Like, I can't. And I don't want you to give up. Whoever's out there having a hard time right now, I want you to just please stop what you're doing and watch this video. Because this might be for you. This might can help you, from giving up. You know what I'm saying? Because, like I said, I don't know what everyone's situation is. I don't know what people deal with behind closed doors, but I do know that the enemy is going to want you to give up, and you can't give in. Because if you give in, you're proving everyone right, like why they're wasting their time with you, like why are you, still doing this, that, and third. And sometimes you gotta kill that noise, you gotta kill that noise. And it's not easy. It's easier said than done, Speaking from experience, I've been through a lot of stuff that I be talking to you guys about. So I'm not just, saying it just because, I've lived some of that stuff, I've lived past one of, like the quitting stage. Like I was so eager and easy to quit a lot of stuff, and then, as a man, if you quit, and then you're less of a man, especially if you constantly quitting when the going gets tough. Rome wasn't built in a day. So, you got to keep going and going and going. You just cannot give up. Now, As far as I'm concerned, like taking a break, yes, take a break. Take take your breaks because you don't want to drive yourself crazy. Like you don't want to overwork yourself to death to where you got to give up. Like take your breaks. Being a hard worker, you have to take a chill pill sometimes. You can't just keep going hard and hard and hard without resting because if you don't rest, you gonna drive yourself crazy, and that all that hard work will be for nothing. I'm telling you. So that's why I try to, I try my best to fight, within my mind, just keep going, cause it like the more you keep going, and yes, failures are gonna happen. If you fail, well, when you fail, like when you're trying, at least you're trying. At least you're getting closer to your goal. Cause if you just stop and you give up, you ain't never gonna reach it. That's why it's better to just keep going. And I know we're human. We want it right then and there. Like we don't want to give up. Like we don't want to quit. You know, we just don't want to quit. We don't. But we also want it right then and there. And we're not patient. We're not patient at all. Like because I'm still learning patience. You know what I'm saying? But if you keep rushing everything, things are not going to happen the way you turn out, the way it's going to turn out, the way you envisioned it. Because, it's just not going to work out for you. I'm telling you, Renzo Gang, you definitely got to fight for what you want. Don't quit, and also stop and pray about this, things. Meditate, do whatever you got to do that help eases and calms your mind and your spirit. Also include God in everything, as if you don't, then you might as well kiss your dreams goodbye. That's why I include God in everything and not thank Him for everything He's done for me. Because without Him, I wouldn't have this channel. I wouldn't have nice clothes. I wouldn't have a roof over my head. I wouldn't even have my car. Probably wouldn't even have a job if it wasn't for God. I wouldn't have graduated high school and college. So that's why I have to try to help push, and motivate you guys because, giving up is just not an option no more. We gotta stop giving Satan, power over us to, to be, weak and quit. We gotta stop doing it. We gotta fight. That's why I'm glad I did this video because some certain points in this video it was a little hard to like get certain stuff out because, like I've been there, been wanting to quit a lot of times, and I've seen people quit, and I've seen people who quit, took their own lives, and I just don't want no one to harm themselves or quit. But if you need someone to talk to, just watch this video to try to help motivate you to want to keep going. I don't want none of y'all to quit. I want everyone on this, that's watching me right now, achieve your goals and reach your destination with your dreams. Keep going. Please don't quit. We all in this together, Renzo Gang. Alright? Post comments down below if you enjoyed this video, and if you want to see more like these, comments down below a topic you want me to talk about. Subscribe to the channel. Turn that post notification bell on. But don't you dare quit, Renzo Gang. We almost there. Don't you dare quit. Alright? I love y'all. See y'all next time.